Angelique. I'd like to kind of hand my next question to you, Angelique. Angelique looks after GAS for Africa, which is Global Employee Services, and I mean your team does a lot of support for mobility teams, which I think has become a big thing with this advent of new contracting models and people working in different spaces. What are some of the big challenges that you've seen from clients?
So the biggest challenges mobility has seen is where and when people are working and how they are working. Companies now need to decide whether remote working is actually going to form part of their go-forward workforce strategy, whether in the short, medium or long term. In a recent global study, 85% of companies have indicated that they will continue with remote working into the long term. Mobility's really had to deal with domestic and international remote workers. What this really means, and by the way, this applies to both existing and new hires. What this means is that you've got staff that are either working within the same country, but potentially working in a different state or a different province. In even a more radical kind of thing, people may even be working in different geographies. So for example, you could have somebody who was working in the Johannesburg office now living and working in the Eastern Cape, but still working for the office in Johannesburg, or a UK national who may have been on assignment to Botswana, now living and working in the UK, but continuing to work for the Botswana entity. Overlaid on that is Mobility's had to deal with virtual assignments. This is where people have been sent on assignment but have not actually physically left their home city or country, and they work remotely for the company to which they would normally have physically been sent. So those are quite big challenges that they're facing. Clients are also grappling with technology. They may not have the necessary platforms to actually manage their remote workforce, and a lot of leaders are not necessarily understanding the opportunities that are presenting themselves as a result of remote working. So they see the tax complications, they see the administrative complications, and they start shutting down the remote work discussion, which really just stifles the organization's ability to grow. As a result of displaced workers, we're also seeing that companies are having to grapple with tax risk management, with payroll and reporting requirements, with the shifting tax responsibility, as well as having to actually make corrections in different jurisdictions as a result of these displaced workers.
It's interesting because I think this whole idea that you can now work remotely and that's become a reality, it's opened up a whole different set of talent models and talent opportunities. I think that's the one point I'm hearing from you. But I also hear with that there's a whole lot of complexity in solving a very simple thing like I want to work for the Botswana company but live in the UK. What kinds of things are clients having to deal with, and what would you advise them to do in terms of solving that?
So it really is a complex landscape and fraught with landmines, I'm afraid to say. You have to take so many considerations into account. You have to look at the person's resident status, how long they've been in each of the jurisdictions, with what level of employee they are. Could they be creating a permanent establishment for your entity? Are they at a job level that can or cannot work remotely? So really there are a lot of items that you potentially have to be considering. None of them are insurmountable, but they all do have to be considered.
And I suppose that needs deliberate focus, right?
Correct.
So if, in terms of the teams, what would you say the future of mobility is?
It's exciting, it's complex, but as I said, it's a whole new way of looking at things, and you'd have to really be looking at your policies, your procedures, your technology around how to support this new workforce of yours.
Thanks very much, Angelique.